10, and we are not ready to go out the door, Steve. It's taller than you right there. I gotta try and clear you a path through this moonscape. Wow, which I had all cleared out last night, but then it turned into a blizzard and it refilled on its own. Where are we? North Pole? Oh, this is a lot of work, and it is not fluffy like you, Steve. It is not fluffy. It is like solid, dense, heavy, hard to move snow, especially with one hand. Wow. Almost there. Where's T-Rex? Birds are all over the place looking for food. I got some. I'll get you some food. Got you covered. A few minutes. Oh, T-Rex, you decided to get out of bed? Steve has been waiting for some time. Guess what? No lines today because 2, 3. I don't think you're going that far. There's the spin. Somebody asked, why doesn't he spin anymore? There it was. And I made him a path. Come on, Steve. I made you a path. You don't need a line. 10:29, 1:26. It's a Monday, 18 degrees. The barometer, the black needle, indicates fair weather today. Fair weather. Yeah, fair weather for Eskimos. Where are you going to go, Steve? It's not far to go. You guys probably come in a little early. And visibility is still down. Looks like it's snowing over there. It is big furry glove kind of day. T-Rex, there's only one way to go. I don't think you're going. Actually, you might be able to go that way. Look at the backyard. Last night, the wind was going 40 to 50 miles an hour. I was trying to keep a path, and I just couldn't. So we've got some spots where there's 0 snow. Other spots where we have a foot or 2 of snow. So we got any measuring devices around here? Yes, we do. It's the Tyler Ory official TK snow stake. So we're going to go around. First, before I go around, though, I want to show you the storm, the breadth of this storm. The snowfall accumulation map. It was so clunky to use this morning. It's covered from New Mexico to Maine. It was a massive, very rare event. Winter storm. Weather Channel called it Fern. I don't think we've seen one like this in New England since Nemo back in 2015. And in the Northeast, there's so many red dots. So New Mexico got 30 inches, and then the red dots in New England, or orange, are 20 inches. I think Sterling, Massachusetts, coming in with 22 inches. It is a trick to measure snow. It's overhead on Steve. I cleaned off his rock and his chair. And so why don't we try and measure the snow? T-Rex, yeah, go ahead down there. Go ahead. I want to see that. I'm going to try and go down there. There's steps here, so you got to be really careful. I may go down again. So I can measure the snow down in here, maybe in the flat spot. So let's stick this in right here. Okay. 9. Upside down, Tim. Upside down. All right, so how deep is this snow right here? That's 44 inches. So I got 44 inches. No, wait. Let's measure it over here. I got 27. No, 27. Yeah. So I'm averaging 30-something right. How about right here? 27. How about in there? I emptied that out. There were 11 in there yesterday, and that's about another 5. So 16. Can we find a 16? That's the bottom of a chair, an upside-down chair. What do we got here? We got 21. Come over here a little bit. 17. That yard has very little. That yard right there. So I'm going to call it, I don't know, about 18 inches of snow. And we had wind gusts last night to 50 miles an hour. Matter of fact, Boston, there's some data from Boston, gusted to 49 miles per hour last night. On the top of Mount Washington, only gusted to 48 miles an hour. So this storm had more wind in Boston than it had on Mount Washington. That's because it was a high barometer nor'easter. It had to do with high pressure across southeastern Canada. There's T-Rex. It's T-Rex deep here. You having fun, Rex? There goes Steve. Overhead on Steve. Yeah, high barometer nor'easter. Go ahead, jump up there, Steve. Jump up there. There's the ice bucket. So we're going to try and uncover the ice bucket. So to watch the Patriots win, as it started snowing in Denver, couldn't believe it. Nobody thought it was going to snow that hard in Denver. Here's a trick to maybe not getting copyright. Thank you, Dennis, in Winthrop, Massachusetts. looking out at the storm as it was getting dark, and there's a reflection of the game. Can I get away with that? I don't know, but thank you, Dennis, for thinking of me. Long time no see. So many contributions yesterday. Brother Ed out there plowing on Cape Cod, and Cape Cod ended up with about, I don't know, 10 inches of really dense snow. Gene Orloff there. A Uccellini snow steak, about 9 in Mashpee, and it was still coming. This storm is not over. We have another, 12 hours to go. So we're 24 hours just about into a 36-hour storm, and there is going to be a backlash coming in. Look at the Gulf of Weymouth. Get a little closer look at that. There's my TK ice bucket. Let's put this down right next to the ice bucket. Yeah, 19 here. So ice bucket's under there somewhere. Let me see that again in April or so. Should I let the pets in? Do we still have viewers? Take care of business right here. Yeah, I don't blame you guys. You can go back in. I'm going to run the short range NAM here in a second. Okay, pets are inside. TK back outdoors. And the radar in the northeast shows some snow still falling in Vermont. Picked up about, 10 inches there near Stowe, where the parking lots were full this morning at 9. Powder day with no wind in northern New England because of that high pressure system. This was the map at 3Z. That is 3 minus 5 is -2. That's 10 p.m. last night. And it was only a 1,003 millibar low, but it was a 1028 millibar high pressure system. So a high barometer nor'easter with wind is air moving from high to low pressure. Okay, took my gloves off for a second because it allows me to zoom. Hopefully I'm not hitting my microphone. So yeah, we have the most harsh midwinter going on here since probably 2015. And I remember what happened in February in 2015. It's not out of the question that something like that's happening again this year. I don't remember last time we had this much ice. I think we did have this much ice once or twice. But this has a lot to do with all that snow that fell. But incredible views here. All right, so let's run the NAM short range. No, I'll show you the weather map this afternoon. So when these lows go out to your east and they don't go north of your latitude, there's a lag back as the upper level low tries to catch up with the surface low. And you have that low now has deepened down sub 1,000 millibars way east of Cape Cod, but not north of our latitude. And there's a tail on storms that don't get north of our latitude, and that would be in the form of that orange dashed line. I know I'm simplifying it here, but that orange dashed line looks a little bit like a Norland instability trough. What do you think, Mr. Lund? Is that a Norland? And that's going to come through from the north to south this afternoon, even though the upper level wind is from south to north. So the low level circulation different than the high level circulation. And there's such cold aloft and moisture still left over from the Atlantic Ocean. So we're going to get another batch of snow. And let's time it out now using the NAM. Time is in the upper left. It's the 3K, so it goes hour by hour. And 17Z is noon, 18Z is 1 p.m. Snow is coming back. And this is going to be sort of the fourth quarter of the storm coming in here from about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Now we've got darker blues coming in, and it may be snowing a ½ inch an hour again for another 7 or 8 hours. So that's another 4 to 6 inches of snow here, not only just in eastern Massachusetts, but that's southern Vermont, Rhode Island, Cape Cod. That'll get us to 14 on Cape Cod probably for the storm total, as this only winds down after midnight tonight. And 6, 7Z, that's now past midnight. That's now tomorrow, Tuesday. And there's a Arctic boundary right over us. See the 510 line finally trying to get past to the south coast. So that's the coldest air so far, days after we said that a couple days ago. All the way down to Long Island and Nantucket with the 510 thickness supposedly getting south of us. This Arctic front is stalled here, much like the first half of the month it's stalled here. Well, no, the first week of the month, I'm sorry. And the last week of the month of January, you have an Arctic front stalled over New England. It's the 12th or 13th Arctic intrusion of the season. And this goes out now to Wednesday at 7 p.m. It's a 60-hour product, right? Yep. And so that's Wednesday at 6 p.m. And we have another wave on the Arctic boundary coming in here, so not a big storm, but low barometer cold. That means up on Mount Washington, it's about 20, 25 below, and at lower elevations, it's about 15 to 20, with intermittent snow showers and flurries continuing midweek. And as for additional snowfall, I didn't run it. I didn't see it, but I'm going to run it now just because. So there it is, snow kind of moving from Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine south into eastern Massachusetts. And I think I see a little darker blue. That would be 3 or 4 inches. And anybody in light purple there, I didn't look at it, but that would be another 6 inches of snow. My guess, Cape Ann to Cape Cod, thanks to a little ocean influence. The wind is coming in from the north a little bit more, and then from the northwest as that thing goes by. So this is by additional on top of our already 15 to 20. So that'll get many of us to 2 feet of snow. Definitely the greatest snowstorm we've had in about 11 years, right? Things go in waves, right? 2005, 2006, 1995, 96, we set a record. 2005, 2006 was pretty snowy. 14, 15 was very snowy, and now we're doing it in 25, 26. Look at the drifts up there on the roof. There's my Tempest. I didn't get the strong gusts like Logan Airport, but I look back at the Marivelis Extreme Performance Anemometry at Wellfleet on the dune next to the Beachcomber, gusted to 67.2 miles per hour on the Cape Cod National Seashore last night at about 9:30. Talk about overachieving in the snow and wind department, and this from a high barometer nor'easter. What if we get a deep low pressure system? Well, that's what the Euro has in store. 2 days ago, we showed possible bombogenesis on the Thursday into Friday. Now it shows it on Saturday into Sunday. Bomb cyclone may try and come at the East Coast, and why not with a polar vortex around? And the stage is set we're in the midst of the harshest winter weather we've had in a long time. So here's the Euro, and our low did deepen down there, 996 or so as it's pulling out, and now the real strong high pressure system looks like it is way off to the west and to the south. Record cold continuing in the central and southeastern United States. Oh, timeout. I wanted to show you one of the ingredients for this storm in the United States was warm air. And I got to share something from Amy and Jim, their lanai in Florida. Peaceful, zen. Thank you, Jim and Amy, our summertime neighbors, also known as snowbirds because they go south when it snows north. And it was 80 degrees in Florida yesterday. So that Florida air running north into the Arctic air is the reason for this massive storm. It wasn't even a strong low pressure system. It was a battle of air from Siberia versus air from east of Hawaii and Central America. And it's going to double down over the next 10 days, go back to that Euro now. Low pressure, a wave on an Arctic front, a few more inches of snow, and not as windy tomorrow, but that low gets east of us, and then the wind really cranks up, and we have another 1040 Arctic high-pressure system coming out of Canada into the middle of the United States. North of New England, there is warm air advection from the northeast with that 492 cutoff polar vortex sinking south. North of that, there's a backdoor warm front with snow backing in from east to west because of the negative North Atlantic oscillation and the Greenland block. And that high pressure system is digging down. Now the high is also breaking off, and a portion of it is coming east, reinforcing our cold here on Thursday as low pressure at the base of a redeveloping trough is strengthening all the way down to Florida. I think it's off the map. I think I have to stop it here at 1 a.m. on Saturday and show you the low pressure system and the rain and snow developing in North Florida and Georgia here. This is now Saturday at 1 a.m. Note the central pressure on that low. What is it, around 1,007 millibars? Not that strong, but to the north of it, that's a polar vortex near Kentucky. We've been talking about this and talking about how the ingredients are there for another bomb cyclone to develop, and sometime, at some point, one's going to hit New England. Is this the one? I didn't look at the other guidance, but let's put it back in motion. So you've got the polar vortex sub 504 cutoff low pressure system on the Smoky Mountains and off just inland from the mid-Atlantic, and there goes the low with a major blizzard for North Carolina and close to Washington, D.C. Now I'm going to stop it again at 1 a.m. on Sunday. 24 hours later, it has deepened down to 974 millibars, or so. So that's a deepening of about 35 millibars in 24 hours. That is a bomb cyclone. And if this verifies, I'd give it about a 51% probability. This would be a blizzard from Boston to New York City to Philly weather guy. Day 10 in a row for commenting. Thank you, Philly weather guy. This is the kind of storm you really don't want on the backside of one that is going to leave us cleaning up for days. And there is that high north of New England, another one with a high north of New England. So that is not only a high barometer, but it's also a very low barometer, an incredible pressure gradient. And that would, if it verified, generate winds of 50 to 60 miles an hour on the coast from Boston to Philadelphia. Wow. And did I mention last night? Yeah, I did. The Maripam Wellfleet wind gust, right. And that was with a high barometer in Wellfleet. So let's now keep this going. And that storm now is going to stall out and perhaps do some kind of blizzard loop as it uses up the cold and the warm, and it comes occluded, and it just kind of gently lifts out of here, gently, next Sunday into Monday. And behind that, there's no new Arctic air. So now we're getting to Groundhog Day on Tuesday, I think is Groundhog Day, right? February 2nd, or is that Monday? I think, no, that's Monday. And then Tuesday, and this product ends on Wednesday, which is now February 4th. Will be February 4th. And there's a high pressure system and no Arctic air and no big storms, although that little bit of rain down near the Gulf of Mexico and cold air in place. There may be another big storm trying to brew around day 13 or 14 or 15. The last thing we need at this point. The only thing I can say is meteorologists love extreme weather, and I have an extremely lot of work to do, both indoors and out, working on the rebrand and working on my forensic meteorology job and trying to keep up with all these storms, and really appreciating your viewership. And we get together, we get through this using togetherness. Meet your neighbors, help your neighbors, and we are really in a serious extreme pattern here. And we'll be monitoring the snow coming in at us again today, and tomorrow's out the door weather and more. So much content yesterday. I wanted to show Katie in Newport, Rhode Island, riding the waves in the snowstorm. Thank you for sharing. This is, after all, surf ski weather, and I tried to make a time lapse of the storm arriving and the ice forming right here in the Fore River. This is saltwater, so we have saltwater ice, and it's here until further notice. Yesterday's weather today. Not sure how this is all going to go. It's called And More. Talk to you tomorrow. Tuesdays are good if you can get them. And more from our Sunday, yesterday's weather, just before the snow began. I don't know, it's not even 8:30. But I was just looking down, and look at the size of these tracks through the yard. What is that? Look at the size of that thing. I've been away for quite a while, but there's my fat foot. Wow. That would be a massive coyote or something else, right? Well, those tracks are going to be buried in probably about 18 inches of snow. Is that right? And I'll get new tracks. I got a track guide in the house. I'm going to have to look at that. Oh, and interesting, we didn't have any birds taping this morning. But there's a gull. Quiet ahead of the storm. Frigid fingers. All right, going inside.
10 a.m. Time for a TK time lapse from indoors. Too cold outdoors. The camera wouldn't be able to handle it. So what's happening is the snow has been coming out of the clouds for some time into a dry layer, and it saturates that layer, and then all of a sudden the sky is falling, and all at once it's snowing pretty hard. That just happened on Cape Cod a few minutes ago. So again, between 9:30 and 10, the snow is developing, and we're also watching the Gulf of Weymouth turn to ice here as the tide just bottomed out. So the water's not moving, the air's not moving, so that's giving the salt water a chance to freeze. So we have ice forming, and that's going to start moving as the tide is going to start coming in. The ice should probably move from right to left, and Boston there is about 7 miles away, and I think I see the first snowflakes. Well, probably already happened. I've been talking too long, so we're going to turn 90 minutes into 30 seconds here. Watch the ground turn white and the ice. See what happens with the water and the ice. 10:15 update. It is just fascinating what's happening now. The snowstorm is coming in from the west, from the left, and from the top down, but an ocean effect. Snow plume has just developed, and I'm going to just zoom the camera over for a moment over towards Hull, and we have snow coming in from the east, also ocean effect. I'll just zoom in there for a second. Coming in from that way. And you can't even see the towers in the Back Bay now, but you can see the towers, excuse me, you can't even see the towers in the financial district, but you can see the towers in the Back Bay. All right, back to roughly where I was just a couple seconds ago. Okay, let's resume this. Snow's coming in from the west and from the east. And the ice is moving all over the place, isn't it? That's about 65 minutes. We went from no snow to moderate to just about heavy snow now that I can't even see across the Gulf of Weymouth in just a little over an hour. So it's just a couple minutes before 11, and there's a lot more this day to go. So now we're going to be measuring snow, see how many inches per hour we can get with the first coating happening before 11 a.m. Things are going a little bit early. That's what happens. These big systems sometimes. All right, I'm gonna go back and do a little bit more work. Have some breakfast. What's next? Hour by hour, play by play. Noontime, it's been snowing for a little less than 2 hours, passing the ½ inch, but this snow accumulating on the slushy ice on the Gulf of Weymouth is fascinating. So let's watch this as the tide comes in here. Midday on our Not in a Hurry Sunday, making things move fast thanks to time lapse. 1:15, another 80 minutes of time lapse. How is the ice moving? It's hard to see when you can't tell because you just look out the window every few minutes. It looks the same, but boy, is it snowing hard. It's only 9 degrees at Logan Airport, so we have ocean enhancement. Air from the east. P-Town is 23. Boston is 9, Logan Airport anyway, and the wind is from the east to the bottom 2,000 feet, but then way up high, the wind is from the southwest at 150 miles an hour. Just an incredible dynamic storm. Fluffy, fat flakes accumulating fast, passing probably 1.25 inches an hour right now. Long way to go. Overachieving initially anyway. 2 o'clock, cat nap time, but T-Rex has to go out time. You guys stay in here, we'll run right out there. Hard to tell how hard it's snowing when everything is all white. Snowing so hard it's accumulating on the salty Gulf of Weymouth. Wow, 11 degrees. Very rarely snows at this temperature here in the northeast. The one inside says 11, this one says 19. I'll go with about 16. And it's pretty rare that it's this cold and snowy here with the wind coming in off the water. More of a, I guess, onshore, side shore. Look at that. T-Rex is knee deep on a T-Rex. Let's do this, T-Rex. How deep is it? Come over here. So we've already got drifts, boot high drifts. Yeah, it's pretty interesting how the drifts form in our backyard with the air coming up the hill and then kind of going down as it gets against the houses. So we're gonna have some 1 to 2 foot drifts. There's a little drift right there. T-Rex, nope, go this way. Let's go back into our yard. Come on. Yeah, let's go this way. Knee deep on a T-Rex. This way. Good boy. Just insist on going this way because the critters live right down in here. All right, visibility is a 1/4 mile. That's 1 inch per hour snowfall. You see T-Rex? Knee deep on a T-Rex at 2 o'clock. Hello, Ray Alba. Sorry I haven't put you in a ski report, snow report lately. I've been so all over the place. I've not really quieted my mind enough to focus on thinking of you, but I'm doing it right now for sure. Right down here, it's only about 15 degrees. It's snowing so hard that the snow is actually accumulating on the salt water right now. And I think I'd rather be here just watching it snow and making some food and watching some football than even up at the mountain. So
Just being grateful for where I am, what I have, and hoping that you're comfortable today, and maybe you've gotten some good news. All right, thinking of you here in Weymouth, Massachusetts. Probably the coldest, most intense snowfall we've had since 11 years. Wow. Peace, love, out. Oh, Steve just came downstairs. Steve, you want to go out? Let's see. Let's see if Mean Coon wants to go out into the snow. Looking, thinking. We haven't had it past your knees in quite a while, Steve. What do you think? I shoveled you a little path over to the bird feeder. Yeah, there he goes. This bird's right there too. He's gonna take off after them, but he's gonna sink down. Remember a few years ago, we were trying to measure it. I said it was gonna be up to Steve's chin one year, and we failed, but this time I think we're actually gonna do it. If he comes out tomorrow morning. What do you think, Steve? When he crouches down, it's a half a Steve already. Passing about 2 to 3 inches here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My fingers are freezing. It doesn't usually snow when it's this cold. Usually it's dry air, but that's the cold coming across Boston. Can't see Boston. It's coming down. Oh, yay. All right, halftime, T-Rex. You want to go out for halftime? Temperature's gone up about 10 degrees since the beginning of this game. What happened? There's been some momentum shifts. Nope, you're going out, Rex. Where are you going? Come on. What happened on the Patriots game is it's not that fun. Look at it. It's nearly chest high on a T-Rex. So in the last half hour, the temperature has gone from at Logan Airport from 12 degrees it was 10 degrees at 3:20. 10 degrees at 3:20, and then at 3:50 it was 23 degrees, and that is all a result of the wind shift. And the wind is now blowing apart our ice. We had the snow accumulating on the ice earlier, and so now it's turning more from a snowfall into a snowstorm. T-Rex has had enough of this, and instead of having the really big flakes with ocean effect, now we've got the small flakes, and it's going to be a wind-driven snow for the rest of the night. Oh, quiet down. Birds at the feeders. I just took off my gloves. Birds at the feeders. T-Rex going to look at the birds. Running around here. Rex, we'll go out and measure the snow in the front yard, or I'll go shovel it, but you can tell by looking at those steps. They were passing about 5 inches of snow. I'll try and measure it in the front yard. From here on in, it's going to be blowing and drifting and very difficult. So we're only about 6 hours into this 36-hour storm, so 30 hours to go. Several more hours of this heavy snow, which may go to sleet, and severe weather in the southeastern United States around the panhandle of Florida. We've had tornado warnings today, flooding in northern Alabama. What a storm. And we're not even through the first quarter of the storm. Maybe just about the first quarter of the storm, first half of the football game. I don't know when I'm going to end it today. Go out in the front yard now. Probably go for several more hours. Making a pot roast in there. A lot of football to go. And the ice is breaking up now with the wind from the east. High tide. Try and measure it in the front. Oh yeah, it's turning into a beast of a storm here near the beaches. And T-Rex has had enough. T-Rex wants to go. Rex, come on! Just take care of business. Steve, I'm not sure, but I think T-Rex is challenging you to a football game. Rex, what is it? You want to play some football? Go ahead. Run with that ball. We need a touchdown. Where are you going? Yeah, that's the end zone. Good job. Steve, you want to come out? Rex, look at its head high on T-Rex. Hi, Jen. Thinking of you. Want to go bowling? This week, hopefully, we can go bowling. Halftime update. Little easier to measure snow, perhaps, in the front yard, not blowing as hard. Got this parting gift. Actually, I got it before I was showing the door. But let's see what we've done here. Front yard. Looks like about a 7. A little less windy in this part. 6. So probably about 6 inches in the first 5 hours. So more than an inch an hour. T-case snow Chase van, getting about the 10th storm of its career, which has only been about not even 2 months into this snow van career. And so we're snowing pretty close to 1 inch an hour. Visibility's down, the wind has picked up, and it's been a really sugary snow too. We had big flakes for a while, but now that it's sugary, it's not going to be as fluffy, not as much of a fluff factor, but we're at 3 inches on Cape Cod. Last Saturday was close to 1 inch of water, or 4 inches. This one is about 6 inches with probably less than a quarter inch of water, H2O liquid equivalent. So much drier for now, but the temperature's going up here in Weymouth, and I think we're gonna keep going past sunset tonight, do a couple more measurements before we start playing the music and calling it a day. About 5 o'clock. Not saying we're having a blizzard in Weymouth, but not saying we're not either. Had some wind gusts over 30 miles an hour. It's coming sideways here near the shore. There's our bird. I've measured about 7 inches on average, considering it's been accumulating since about 11. And it's about 5. More than 1 inch an hour. Close to blizzard conditions tonight near the coast. And we're all set. TK Chase van is parked for the night. It's getting dark out there. Patriots took the lead while we were shoveling. It's almost up to 30 degrees. Wow. Turn some more lights on. T-Rex. I keep shoveling paths, but it's T-Rex high now. East wind 15, gusting to 30. Not quite a blizzard. Did they say it was supposed to snow? Not this day. Oh my goodness. Not quite as hard there, but same system. From Colorado to Massachusetts. Wow. It's what we call a secondary front, or upper level energy coming through Colorado. Upper level energy watch in effect through the rest of January 2026. 7:45. Well done, Patriots. Now the NFC Championship already in progress, but I'm distracted by what's close to a blizzard. Trying to keep up with keeping a path open is pretty much impossible. Did that one, I don't know, maybe about 90 minutes ago. And so I did this one about 5 minutes ago. What do we call it? Started at 11, well, accumulating, and it's been going now close to 9 hours. Let's see what we got. I think that's a relatively good spot right there. It says 11 inches. Give it an inch to the old snow. Do one more over here. That also says 11. So I think we're passing 10 inches in close to 10 hours. No snow on the van, but trying to clear a path around it, I've done it 3 times. It's impossible. Way to go. Huge snowbanks is the forecast for our earlier. Wow, look at that up there. What's that? Somebody's in the woods up there. Snowmobile going through the woods up there. Only in Weymouth. And Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine. But today it's Weymouth. Thanks for watching. Tuesdays are good if you can get them. I think the snow should be done. Did I call it a blizzard? Pretty darn close. All right. Talk to you tomorrow.